Welcome to your new favorite podcast, Pocketful of Mojo, where you're you and I'm Steph, and we tune in here to tap into some mojo. You see, I think I've cracked the code to being happy. I'm happy every single day, no jokes. Now, I wasn't always this way, trust and believe, and not to flex, but I've had breakdowns on multiple continents and in 2 languages. But by paying attention and living with more intention, I've curated a wellness first aid kit full of amazing tools that help me out of and help me avoid getting into life's most sticky and stressful situations. And I'm not here to gatekeep. I'm on a mission to help you tap into your best stuff and remember that you have everything you need to live your life on your own terms. So settle in. We're here for some positive change. So let's explore together where your mojo meets the road. In today's episode, I'm going to review our mantra for the week, and then we're going to dig into today's main topic, and that topic is empowerment, unlocking the fierce and tapping into your power. And look, I know you've got so many podcasts to choose from, and I'm so glad you're here. So, you, stick around, and I'm going to make sure that you're glad you did. Let's get started with today's mantra and get tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Hello, and welcome to the 20th episode of Pocketful of Mojo. Once again, I'm Steph, and I'm super glad you're here. Thanks for coming. This is going to be a very powerful episode, so let's set it off like a rocket. Let's start by digging into today's mantra, and that is, I am completely empowered to make positive changes in my life. Boom. Okay, let's go. I am completely empowered to make positive changes in my life. Not just a little empowered, not sometimes empowered. I am completely empowered. Okay, so this can be a little overwhelming at first glance. So if you're a bit taken aback, then, hey, my friend, you're in the right place. Stepping into your power can be a little disorienting when it comes to this shift. There's a lot that comes with empowering yourself, and it can feel like all of a sudden you're taking on a lot more than you were before. But don't worry. This is the part where you start to understand your power that you've always had, and maybe it was just sleeping for a little while. You are fully equipped to deal with this newfound superpower, so stay with me. I am completely empowered to make positive changes in my life. Feeling empowered simply means that you give yourself permission first, before looking outside to inform your decision. As you're building a better relationship with yourself, you're going to find out more about who you are and what you love and the life that you want to live. But it starts in your brain. And then we have to make adjustments in order to actively make these changes, like in real life. And if we tap into our old ways, we feel like we have to check in with everyone to make sure that these changes work for them. But empowerment means that you've done the math and your choices pass through your filter first, and that's the only test that they need to pass. I am completely empowered to make positive changes in my life. Once you've identified the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, look, my friend, you've already done a lot of the heavy lifting. These positive changes are going to reveal themselves to you, and you'll be motivated to start moving towards these new habits and new changes more often. And as you do, you'll see that the only person stopping you from making these changes before was you. And you may think to yourself, well, why didn't I do this sooner? And look, that's totally normal, but make sure that that's just a fleeting thought. Don't spend too much time thinking about how you got here and things you could have done differently. The important thing is that you're making positive change for yourself, and it feels good. So keep doing it. And you've started the cycle of empowerment and positive change. Whoop, whoop. I am completely empowered to make positive changes in my life. Like most things that we talk about on Mojo Mastery, empowerment isn't something that can be ticked off the checklist as done. It's a process. It's a movement. It's a mindset. And little by little, as you become more comfortable with your self-authority and begin to shift your thoughts and your actions to what serves you, you will begin to live a more empowered life. Your decisions are going to start to look different. Your thought process is going to evolve, but it takes time and practice and failing and self-reflection. I still make decisions today that are less than empowered, that's for sure. But I have this baseline of knowing that when it comes time, I have what it takes to make the decision that serves me. And you can too. And as you continue to smash your limiting beliefs that you have about yourself and your life, you're going to see how amazing life can be when you're in the driver's seat, going where you want to go. You're in charge now. I am completely empowered to make positive changes in my life. Okay, how are we feeling? Ready to tap into some empowering thoughts? Yeah. Because look, I think it can be said that we are at our best when we believe in ourselves. No matter what situation we find ourselves in, if it's personal or professional or interpersonal, whatever it is, when we feel empowered, we are in alignment with our best stuff. What we're here to do today is put it under the microscope so that we can tap into it more often and see the shift in our day-to-day lives. So today, we're going to dive deep into the essence of empowerment. We're going to unpack what it truly means and dig into some real-life actionable steps to make sure that it plays a starring role in your day, every day. For me, empowerment is a tool I think I underuse. Okay, I know I underuse. When I think back to some of the biggest and best decisions I've made, whether it was making the decision to move to France, or the decision to leave my corporate job after 15 years, or the decision to leave an unhealthy relationship, empowerment was at the heart of and the key to getting to live a happier and more fulfilling life. Looking back, there were 100 reasons that I could have told myself that would have stopped me from making those choices. But it was empowerment that allowed me to get into alignment with my real desires and find the courage that I needed to step into a life that I really wanted. Empowerment stopped me from playing small. Empowerment tapped into the courage I didn't know that I had. Empowerment came to my rescue when I thought I had given all my best stuff away. So allow me to reintroduce you if a little vitamin empowerment is what the doctor ordered. So let's spend some time understanding empowerment. Imagine empowerment as your very own personalized magic potion. It comes in a cute little bottle, and it's a concoction that's brewed from confidence, self-awareness, and resilience. And those are some pretty major ingredients. Now, it's important to remember that it's not about overpowering others or trying to get validation from anyone. Instead, it's about tapping into your inner strength, and it's there. It just might be sleeping. It's about owning your choices, and you remember those, right? And getting excited and back in the driver's seat of your unique path in life, the one that you pave for yourself. It's so important to note that empowerment is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It's as diverse as we are humans, and it looks different depending on the different parts of our lives, personal, professional, emotional, and so on. Empowerment is about standing tall in your authenticity, loving your flaws, and recognizing you've got some amazing worth, regardless of the pressures and the expectations of the outside world. Or the inside pressures and expectations, come to think of it. It's a huge part of empowerment that I've learned comes with a simple act of giving yourself permission. Being ready to do something that may be a scooch outside of your comfort zone, but allowing yourself to trust your gut and do it anyway because you can and you want to. And we're here today to take away all the roadblocks that have been holding you back. It's time to say yes to yourself and get back in the driver's seat where you belong. Let's get some myths about empowerment out of the way and start to zero in on how to make it work in a more practical way. Let's take some time to bust a few myths about empowerment, shall we? Firstly, empowerment is not about bulldozing over others to get what you want. Do not be fooled by the word power in there. It shouldn't look like bullying in any way, shape, or form. There's no forcing when it comes to empowerment. True empowerment respects boundaries, no forcing required. It inspires collaboration where before you may have held back. And it makes room to celebrate the success of everyone involved. Because there's room at the top for everyone, and this is key. Secondly, empowerment isn't a destination. It's a process, a continuous process of growth, of learning, and self-discovery. There's no finish line to cross or gold medal to win. I know. As people pleasers, we're often in it for the gold star. But instead, it's about knowing that this is going to be part of the adventure, keeping our eyes open for the challenges, and loving the person you're becoming along the way. There's going to be some tests, some challenges, and maybe even some struggles. Empowerment is coming into your power and knowing how to use it in a loving and healthy way. Now, as we go into this with eyes wide open, there's going to be some barriers. So knowing that they're coming is actually half the battle. So let's expose them right now so we know what to do when we see them. So yeah, these pesky barriers that stand between us and our empowerment, they do indeed exist. They are there. But when we know how to navigate it, we're able to hold onto our power. So let's shine a light on a few common culprits. But before we do, remember, these are things we need to identify and own about ourselves. It's about casting some lights on these parts of ourselves that might be holding us back so that we can take a good look at them and ask if they're really serving us. This isn't about things we don't like about ourselves or things we need to change necessarily. It's about working with who we are, knowing our tendencies, and course correcting gently to get more into alignment with our true, unstoppable selves. So we look at these things and we are gentle with ourselves. Capiche? Okay, let's dig in. Number 1, the comparison trap. Ever find yourself scrolling through social media and you're comparing your life to curated highlight reels, watching someone who does what you do, but they do it better, followed by a pang of unease and the sting of less than? Yeah, so just remember, comparison is the thief of joy, and it's a surefire way to dim your empowerment. Comparing your unique and amazing life to anyone else will put water on your fire, and it'll suck the life out of any motivation you've managed to muster. Please don't. Remember, your life is unique, and comparing it to other people, it's only going to leave you feeling inadequate when you expect the same results as someone else. Because the truth is, we don't know their whole story. We don't know how many times they've fallen and gotten back up. We don't know the struggles they've faced any more than they know about yours. We are often raised to believe that if someone else wins, that means that you won't. And that is a crazy lie. Do not give power to someone else who is not in charge of your game plan. You are the only one who's in charge of your game plan. So the only comparing that you need to do is you versus you. Compare what you did to what you set out to do. Compare your results to where you aimed your energy. Comparison should only be done in the mirror, not out the window. You can write that down. Coming in at number 2, we've got people pleasing. The struggle of people pleasers. And look, while it's noble to prioritize other people's needs, and I can't say this loud enough, it shouldn't come at the expense of your own well-being. If you want to rise above and learn how to leverage your love of loving others to your advantage, then it's time to learn how to set boundaries. Say no when you need to, and prioritize your gorgeous self-care. This is essential for reclaiming your power. And believe me, I feel deeply that pleasing others and serving others is one of the best things we can do as humans. But when it comes before your well-being, you've got to flip the script. Lucille Ball once said, "Love yourself first, and the rest falls into place." Loving other people is one of the gifts that we bring to this world. It's the best thing about being a human. And we can do an even better job at it when we've started with ourselves. And then there's number 3, fear of failure. Ugh, fear, the ultimate buzzkill. Fear of failure can be paralyzing. This I know. It's the jerk that's known for preventing us from taking risks and chasing after our dreams. It's that feeling that you're standing on the edge of an amazing opportunity, but frozen into taking an action because the thought of blowing it is crippling. We put so much into thinking about what will happen when things go wrong that we forget all the goods we bring to the table that will maybe, allow for some success. And if we don't succeed, here's my hot take. You'll live. I know, a bit direct, but hopefully it's enough to snap you out of the paralysis that comes with fear of failure and remember and realize that we have failed before, and yet here we stand. We're better, we're smarter, maybe a bump or a bruise, but still intact. Because here's the thing, failure isn't the end. It's a stepping stone. It's not rejection, it's redirection. It's a pit stop. Maybe a much needed detour on the way to where you're going because you needed to learn that thing in order to achieve the thing. Embrace failure. It's your chance to learn and watch your empowerment come in full force just by making that slight adjustment. And then there's number 4, lack of self-confidence. Now, this is another ingredient that ebbs and flows for all of us. Sometimes we feel hot, other times not. So if you ever feel like you're not good enough or capable enough, that, my friend, is the voice of self-doubt. It's a liar and a no-good Nick that lives in your head rent-free like a bum, and it's there to cause a commotion. But newsflash, it's not invited to come on the quest for empowerment. There is no longer room on this bus for jerks that don't know the real and awesome you. They're slick, and they're going to try to show you evidence that you're not the shit, but turns out you are the shit, and facts are facts. Now, if you're not there yet, that's okay. Building self-confidence takes time and practice. But with every single small victory, you're inching closer to believing in yourself. It's important to recognize that ick feeling that comes up when low self-esteem or low confidence is at play. It's uncomfortable. It's low energy. And it doesn't look very good on you, to be honest. So it's time to go back to the change room and try on something that suits you better. Something that reminds you of your worth. Something that makes you sparkle and shine. It's never too late to start. And while at first it may feel like ego or bragging or whatever your silly brain is telling you, that's how you know you're on your way. With time, you're going to polish it up and you're going to make it your own. But the key here is to keep going. Step over the ick and into your light. And that makes it the perfect time to start talking about empowerment in action. So let's get to the good stuff. Real life, honest to goodness, actionable steps that infuse some of that sweet, sweet empowerment into your everyday life. So the first thing you're going to want to do is know thyself. Take some time. Take some time to explore who you are today. What are your strengths, your passions? What are your values? What are your quirks? Maybe you've changed. Maybe you're changing. Maybe you're growing into a stronger, more authentic version of yourself. Now, that's worth writing about. Journaling, self-reflection, and getting some gentle and loving feedback from a trusted friend can help you get some clarity on your true awesome essence. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The relationship that you have with yourself is the most important relationship there is. Taking inventory from time to time is a fantastic way to see the long list of awesome that makes you you. Seeing yourself the way people who love you the most do. Seeing your value helps you to tap into what lights you up. And we can never have too much of that in this lifetime. So do this and do this often. The next thing you're going to want to get good at is setting some boundaries. Repeat after me. No is a complete sentence. Learning to set boundaries is critical for protecting your time, your energy, and your well-being. Practice saying no to things that don't align with your priorities or values, and watch your empowerment grow. Now, I'll tell you right now, we don't get this right all the time. We start by learning what battles to pick, and one at a time, bit by bit, we can learn where that line is and learn how to protect our own green grass before going to water someone else's. Boundaries, they don't have to be harsh. They don't have to be rude or mean. It's a tool. It's a tool to use to show the world how we want to be treated. And this can take a bit of discovery. Now, this may mean that we have to learn to let some shit go. We have to be okay with other people's disappointment. I know, gross, right? But that will show us who has our back and who is in it for what they wanted, not for the good of everyone. Now, this may sting at first, and that's totally natural. But we can soothe ourselves in the knowing that we achieved self-care in the form of a boundary. Well done, you. Which is the perfect time to get good at number 3, practicing self-compassion. It's time to get good at being gentle with yourself, my friend. We are all works in progress. We're navigating the twists and the turns of life. It happens to everybody. And it can be a bumpy road out there. And I'm not here to tell you different. When you stumble, when you fall, offer yourself the same kindness and compassion that you would to your bestie. If something didn't go right, or you screwed something up, guess what? The world will keep spinning, I promise. Self-compassion, it involves forgiveness. Thinking about what you could have done differently, and then letting that shit go. The world is ready to tell you your shortcomings. You don't need me to tell you that. But you don't need to be at the front of that line. So here's what you can do. Take action. Empowerment, it thrives on action. When we stay in our head, we are subject to all kinds of crazy thoughts that can leave us feeling stuck or trapped or in a loop of like, what if this happens? Or I can't take that first step because I don't know what comes next. Yeah, I've totally been there, my friend. But the answer? Give yourself 5 minutes every day. Have you got a goal that you don't feel ready to tackle? Yeah, me too. Here's the trick. Break your goals down into bite-sized chunks and just take one small step every day to move closer to them. Just 5 minutes. That's all it takes. Little by little, you are going to start to feel momentum. You're not going to be satisfied with 5 minutes anymore, and pretty soon, you'll be accumulating more and more inspiration and dedication to your goals. Because 5 minutes at a time, you'll be convincing yourself that you can. That's empowerment at work. And here's the fun part. You get to celebrate your progress along the way, no matter how small, and it helps to keep that momentum going. Celebrating alone is fun, but it's even better when you check out number 5, which is surrounding yourself with support. Have a look at the roster of peeps in your tribe and be on the constant lookout for relationships and communities that are going to uplift and empower you. Surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams, cheer you on, and celebrate your victories, if they're big or if they're small. And remember, it's okay to outgrow relationships that don't serve you anymore. Having the people in my life that I do has been a very deliberate choice. And I let them know regularly how important they are to my life and my growth. I let them know that their cheers and their tough talk keep me motivated and strong. And when you surround yourself with superstars, the good times multiply, and that's always a good thing. As we wrap up our empowering journey together, I want to leave you with this. You've got this. You're capable. You're worthy. You are enough. Empowerment isn't just something that you find outside of yourself. That's that fire that burns brightest when you're tapped into your best you. It's there. It's just waiting to be unleashed. So go ahead, my fellow people pleasers. Step into your power, own your worth, and let your light shine bright. The world is waiting for you to show up as your amazing, authentic, and empowered self. And remember, I'm rooting for you. I know you've got this. I hope this resonated with you and provides you with a little more inspiration on your journey to empowerment. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Remember, self-love and self-acceptance are the foundation for a Mojo Master. And I know that you have everything you need to live a life to fill your own cup and drink in all the good stuff that this life has to offer. You deserve it. Be sure to come say hi on Instagram and let me know how you're coming along with your Mojo adventure. And you can find my handle and a few fun links in the show notes, so be sure to check that out. Come back next time where we explore a new word for people pleasers, and that word is no. So get your superhero capes ready because it's going to be a gooder. So until then, stay fantastic, keep spreading those positive vibes, and be kind out there. Toodaloo, kangaroo. Mwah.